It's a really, really wonderful day in Prince George's County today, and you all, unbeknownst to you, you're here for something really special. It is the case that I'm going to have my tennis debut today. No, wait a minute now. You all are laughing, right? Well, actually, and I think probably Robin feels really nervous for me because she already knows from talking to me that I have no skill whatsoever, so she's going to feel real nervous for me. But what I can tell you is that really is the point. Today is special for a number of reasons, but I can tell you as a lifelong Prince Georgian that JTCC means so much to Prince George's County. This is a jewel. We've often said that Prince George's is the crown jewel of Maryland. Well, JTCC is one of the crown jewels of Prince George's County. It is, yes, it is a crown jewel of Prince George's. So we want to give it up for Ray Benton. Can we please applaud and thank him for what he has meant to Prince George's County and so many greats. We say that greatness grows in Prince George's County, and I think there are so many examples of how that is relevant right here at JTCC. And you know, I had a moment just a bit ago that I thought I'd share with you that I think expresses why this is so important. There was someone who turned to me and said, very happily, do you play tennis? And I stepped back, and to be honest with you, I shared with her, I said, you know, I'm a 50-year-old woman, and I don't know very many people who grew up with me who play tennis. I just don't. And it is the case that when I grew up, if you didn't have a tennis court in your community or you didn't really know anyone who played tennis, you just weren't exposed to it. Well, JTCC has changed that for people who look like me and for those who don't. All along the spectrum, it has changed that and invested in young people and given them the opportunities that we see, like the one that we know Frances Montgomery took, and oh my gosh, how excited we were. I'm sorry, not Frances Montgomery, Robin Montgomery, to see her recently in the U.S. Open. We were so proud of her. And the true Frances Diapo, how much more proud could we be also of this guy, who is not only representing us here, but has represented us also on the international stage, and we're so proud. And you know what? And even more is coming. As I look behind me, I see there are a number of young women with JTCC on their shirts. So this is really important. It is continuing the legacy of Prince George's County that we are growing greatness every day. I want to also thank Bill Ackman so much for his support and investment that made this court possible. It made the stands, I understand, around this possible. I want to thank him so much for the investment. I want to thank also Betty Hewlett, who has represented Prince George's County now for more than 30 years in various capacities, but most recently as the chair of Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. I want to thank her so much. Also, Councilmember Daniel Blaros is with us. But I just wanted to welcome you all to Prince George's to say what an exciting day this is and to thank everyone who has invested in this particular center and who has, again, represented us not only here but made us proud across the region and across the world. Thank you so much.
And you actually mentioned the next speaker. Let's welcome the Prince George's County Council member, Danielle Blaros. Danielle Blaros, come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have to say I was a little nervous a few hours ago. I live really close to here. As was mentioned, I'm the county council member. I represent this area on the Prince George's County Council, and I've happened to know Ray for many years now. But I was sitting looking out my window, trying to wrap up a few things, and then it started raining. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope it just lasts for a little bit and the sun comes out. So I feel really blessed right now that we are blessed today with the sun, the clouds, to really celebrate this moment. Because JTCC, as our amazing county executive said, is an absolute jewel here in Prince George's County. It's a jewel for our residents, but it's a jewel for residents from throughout the Northeast Corridor who trust their kids to JTCC, to not only coach them, to educate them, to make sure that they grow into amazing people who are committed to our world and committed to making sure that they can make a difference out there. And so I am so blessed to be here today to celebrate. I have a few special thank yous I want to do in particular. I want to do a special shout out as well to this man right here, who is responsible for making sure that we have this court and these stands. I happened to be here just about 3 weeks ago. I saw them in action for a tournament. Having the spectators in this space, having your investment, Mr. Ackman, means so much to Prince George's County, means so much to JTCC. So just a special thank you to you. I also really want to thank all the players and all the coaches here. You really have set the standard of excellence in our community. Every time you take the world stage, or you take a stage at the US Open, or at any one of the competitions and tournaments around the country, we all are proudly watching you. We are proudly watching you, how you compete, and we're proudly to say that JTCC and you all grew up here in Prince George's County. So a real special shout out to all the players and coaches, but especially Francis, especially Robin. What a day a few days ago for you. So let's give them all a round of applause. And as was mentioned earlier, we don't get to places like this without partnerships, right? Collaboration is absolutely fundamental to seeing this work here today. It's the contributions of people like Mr. Ackman, but it's also the contributions of folks like Betty Hewlett, who is our chair of our planning board. But she, and I was actually just checking this with her, so she might speak more to this. She actually was here when we first opened JTCC, and she's about to end her career with us. She's about to retire. So if we could give her a big round of applause for her investment here in Prince George's County and with JTCC. And I'll just conclude by saying great places happen in Prince George's County, not only because of the houses we build, or the economic development, the jobs we bring. But that's not enough. What you need is great places like this, great recreation opportunities that pull a community together and bring people here not only to live, not only to work, but to, in essence, play. So thank you, JTCC, for just being a phenomenal partner here in our community, helping to train our youth, helping to get more adults active in tennis, and for everything you've done on the national and world stage. So special thanks again to JTCC.
Yeah. Thank you, Danielle. And you just mentioned our next speaker. She's the chairman of the Prince George's County Planning Board. Let's welcome Betty Hewlett. Come on up.
First of all, good afternoon, everybody. How we doing up in here on this fabulous day? We are here to celebrate, right? This is amazing right here. This is amazing, and everybody has said it. This is indeed a jewel in our beloved, what? Prince George's County, Maryland. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. On behalf of the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission and our fabulous Department of Parks and Recreation, I am so thrilled to be here for this opening of this Pershing Center Court. Isn't this fabulous? Yeah. And the Prince George's County Department of Parks and Recreation is a proud member of the USTA. We're an organizational member. And we participate and coordinate with the Advantage Prince George's along with JTCC. So we're so very pleased. I'd like to thank our county executive, Angela Alston-Brooks, and also our Councilmember Danielle Glaros for those beautiful remarks and actually for acknowledging us as well. And I got to take a moment to thank Ray Benton. He is Mr. Tennis. That's who he is. And I thank him for inviting me here today and inviting Park and Planning Commission. Definitely got to thank Mr. Ackman for this. Oh my goodness, he deserves a hearty round of applause too. But for me, it's like deja vu. It's coming full circle because I was standing here opening day in 1999, and when they came to us with a proposal for a public-private partnership, JTCC came right. They came, they put their money where their mouths are. They really were about business. A lot of people come with the public-private partnership concept that means private idea, public money, end of story. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about they came prepared to give and give they have done. And from opening day in 1999 to where we are now, baby, look at you now. And look at the Robins and the Princes and other youth that you have taught here. They have learned and done tremendously, haven't they? So in partnership, we continue to teach tennis. Now, I grew up in New York City, in Queens, right down from Forest Hills. You would think I would have learned to play tennis, but no, that ship sailed, as the county executive said. There weren't a lot of us back then. There was Arthur Ashe, but there weren't a lot of us back then who learned. So, maybe we have a senior program? Thank you. You can help me. You can help me. But it's just wonderful that in conjunction with JTCC, the Department of Parks and Recreation has 312 tennis courts now. And we have 3 tennis bubbles that we have to open. And in 2020, during the COVID pandemic, we closed down for a little bit, but then at the urging of our county executive to get people out, we opened up our tennis courts again, and we had over 9,000 bookings for our tennis courts even then. That just shows you the level of interest in tennis. So we're going to keep it going, and also it's multicultural now, and our tennis is important for people of all ages and all abilities. And all abilities. So, and then we learned from the USTA that tennis also enhances your grades for our youth. It does so much. It benefits you in so many ways. So we want to keep this going. And I just wanted to take this moment to just say thank you to everybody. This is a huge day for JTCC. It is a huge day for Prince George's County and our nearly 1 million residents. And it is a huge day for all the visitors and people that come to celebrate here and play tennis here and to learn here. So let's give it up for all the collaboration. Thank you so very much, everyone.
I have to say that Prince George's County knows how to throw a party. We've done a lot of philanthropic stuff at the foundation, but we never had 600 people show up with me in sweaty tennis clothes. But just a little story about Ray. Ray is one of the great fundraisers of all time. But this time, when he came to see me a few years ago, his timing was off. And you can be the world's greatest fundraiser. If your timing's off...
Can you hear me? Yeah. Sorry about that. I wanted to tell you...
Wait.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now I feel taller. What I was going to say is Ray Benton is one of the world's great fundraisers. But you can be the world's greatest fundraiser and your timing can be off and you can't make any progress. So anyway, he comes to me a few years ago. A few years ago, I was not in a good place. And I also like to say success is not a straight line up. In my case, I've had this, I've had this. It was one of these periods, and I was going through a divorce. I lost a lot of money. And then Ray comes calling. And he says, look, Bill, I've got a great project for you. We need a center court at JTCC. He said, how much is that going to cost? He said, oh, $1 million. I said, Ray, that sounds like an expensive tennis court. He said, well, it's going to go over some other things too. And I said, well, I really want to do it. I'm going through this really challenging time. Just check in with me, 6 months, 12 months, something like that. So I'm interested. And then I proceeded to tell him about this woman I had met. And I met a woman named Mary Oxman, and we started dating. And from the moment I dated her, everything's just turned around. And it was a straight line up. And my fund went up three times over the last 3 years. We got engaged, we had a baby, we had this cute little two and a third year old baby, and everything good happened. So Ray got his court, and Prince George's County has this incredible facility, and it's all due to my wife, and she's right there, Mary Oxman. Thank you, Mary. Just a few words about tennis. I was not, I didn't become Francis Yafo because there was no JTCC in my town. That's my excuse. But I did fall in love with the game, and it's one of the great games. You can play at age 3, Robin started, and you can play at age 30. And of course, you can play when you're 80 or 90 years old, and you can have a lot of fun no matter how good you are. And that's a wonderful thing, and result is it's an incredible community asset, and this is a center that is known not just in Maryland, not just in the DC metro area, but it's known really around the country and now around the world for creating some of the world's great tennis players. And behind every great tennis player is a great coach. Behind every great coach is a great institution like this one. And we owe a lot to places like this and to coaches that work here and the players. It's not an accident that Francis and Robin came out of this place. I think it's inevitable. And there are a whole bunch of other Francis's and Robins on their way, and a bunch of other people like me that no one's ever heard of on the tennis court, but who can have a lot of fun. Although I'm partnered with Richie Renneberg. Richie was, I think, 20th in the world, the #1 doubles player for probably a dozen years. So I've got a good partner. We've got a really good chance of taking out Francis and Robin. Everyone's laughing. They wanted to partner me with Francis, but I prefer to be the underdog. So our combined age is 110. Their combined age is maybe 37. I don't know. So we're 3 times as old. Imagine if we win this one. So thank you so much. Appreciate everyone showing up, and congratulations to the community.
He is the CEO of the JTCC. Let's welcome Ray Benton.
Thanks, Frank. A wise person told me never follow Betty Hewlett on the stand. I didn't learn. But thank you to all of you for coming. I've been here 13 years, and this is the biggest crowd we've had and the most enthusiasm. It's really very, very exciting to me. Because of the generosity of Bill Ackman, we built a center court. But what good does a center court do if you can't fill it? And you provided that. Thank you very much. Before I introduce Bill, I'd like to recognize a few VIP guests here. First of all, our chairman of the board, Peter Ackerman. One of our founders and president, Vesa Ponca. Our senior coaches, Ali Agnama and Oliver Ackley, who played major roles as mentors to Francis and Robin. And I see Francis's father, Constant, and his agent, Kelly Wolf. And I know his twin brother, Franklin's here somewhere. And also his hitting partner and traveling pal, Jordi Arcanata, is here somewhere. Jordi, on his own right, is one of the most distinguished graduates of JTCC. He was top 40 in the world in junior tennis. He was a semifinalist in the NCAA. And he had one pretty good win in the juniors right before the French Open. But we didn't really know at the time. He beat someone named Daniil Medvedev in straight sets. I certainly want to recognize Gabby Montgomery, Robin's mother, who was the guiding light in her going to the top of the tennis world. Gabby? So, as most of you know, Bill Ackman is very highly recognized for his business acumen, but he's also deservedly very recognized for his philanthropy and generosity. JTCC, we're tremendously fortunate to be the recipient of his philanthropy. I met Bill, I think it was 10 years ago, and I was really impressed with his passion for every level of tennis. I mean, he's interested in professional tennis like most of us, but he really shares our commitment. And our byline at JTCC is tennis for everybody. And we're kind of soulmates. He gets excited about beginning adults as much as I do. So thank you very much, Bill. Bill was a competitive tennis player in high school. Then he became a rower in college, and then he returned to tennis after college. And I'd have to say with a bit of a vengeance. He's improved a ton. In fact, you're going to see him out here in the first match playing with two players that he sponsored, Robin Montgomery and Francis Tiafo. At the age of 15, each one of them won the Orange Bowl, which is the 18 and under, which is the biggest junior tournament in the world. So I think it was Bill's inspiration that got them there, but it's at least part of it. So we're here to recognize Bill and Pershing Square Foundation's contribution. It's my pleasure to request the title signage for the center court be uncovered.
1 second, wait a minute, wait.